Hey everybody, welcome back to SJG Perspective. Want to do a quick reaction video to Jake Tapper and his holier than thou, I'm so much better than you. Come on, American people and Republicans. You shouldn't be saying that leftists and Democrats are terrorist lovers. This is just beneath you. This arrogance from him, like he has any right to lecture us on, keeping stuff above board, right, and not being holier than thou, or to be. To say make inflammatory statements or so on and so forth. Like he has any room at all in any place to try to lecture us on it. So before we jump into that though, please do like this video, share it out on your social medias, and follow me on BitChute, on Parler, and on DLive, all at SJG Perspective. There's other places you can find me too. Those are the three main ones that I'm really focusing on right now. So let's jump over here to this article or to this this video here and watch what old Jake Tapper has to say.
Soleimani headed up a group the U.S. considered to be terrorist. He was ruthlessly effective. He had the blood of innocents on his hands. These are not matters serious people are debating. The question is whether it was wiser to kill him and risk an escalating response from Iran or not. According to the New York Times, CIA Director Gina Haspel, quote, advised Mr. Trump that the threat the Iranian general presented was greater than the threat of Iran's response if he was killed. This is what the debate is about. This and the intelligence, what the allegedly imminent threat to the U.S. was, whether that intelligence is being accurately represented or twisted and shaded to justify a desired strike, as has happened before in the U.S. And also we're discussing the role of Congress.
As has happened before in the U.S. by your own man Obama, who dropped myriads and myriads and myriads of drone strikes on people all over the world, and then won himself a Nobel Peace Prize, right? So yeah, this isn't just a Trump thing. So let's make sure you emphasize that, Jake.
And all this. That's a debate that's been raging for decades. But if you listen to the president and his defenders, you don't hear much discussion about these serious matters. The two main arguments we've heard this week are, one, trust us, such as Senator Lindsey Graham tweeting, do you believe the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and CIA director are incompetent, lying? I'm beyond disgusted by the suggestion the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and CIA director got it wrong when it comes to the actions of General Soleimani. It's almost as if Senator Graham is unaware that previous administrations, from FDR to JFK to LBJ to Nixon to Reagan to Bush to Obama, have gotten it wrong when it comes to matters of intelligence and war and peace?
I will have to agree with him there that our presidents do get it wrong, and we should question at times the intelligence that it takes, or the intelligence we receive to get us involved in a conflict or to take military action. I agree with what he has to say right there. But that isn't, again, only solely this, being a Trump thing or a conservative thing.
Not to mention, of course, this president's long record of prevarication. Plus, the way he pushes the government of the United States to use its power and credibility to justify his lies about crowd sizes or hurricane paths or fake crimes by his political opponents.
Okay, so right there, let's stop there for a second. Number one, he doesn't lie about his crowd size because they are huge. He's filling stadiums like crazy. We can get over the whole hurricane path dealio. And the other accusation he just made, that he just so quick, so he's just so, so quickly and easily just tries to brush under the rug, and so nonchalantly tries to and project this thing up. And, this whole lies that he says about his political opponents, and whatnot. He's referring to the Ukraine deal where, as we all know, Joe Biden actually did a direct quid pro quo with Ukraine, and he's pointing that out. And this whole thing that got this whole thing with impeachment and so on and so forth started was Trump saying, hey, we want to make sure that that all this stuff is you're on page and you're not still a corrupt Ukrainian government, and that you're going to make sure you investigate some of these things because Joe Biden definitely did this. And now he's just trying to make it out like, oh, these are just lies and conspiracy theories, which they aren't. But again, this is what they do. And the people who watch this and the people who listen to this just take that at face value.
Then there's the other approach, the other response we're hearing, attacking those who have questions or who disagree with the decision, defaming them as terrorist lovers.
So number one, I find this rich, that Jake Tapper is going to now lecture us because we've made some comments saying, hey, you guys should be standing with the Americans. You should be standing with your country, your president, supporting your president in this time. And I'm not saying you can't question actions, because God knows I do. God knows I question some of these things too. But you can't call out the left, who is under this TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Anything Trump does is absolutely ridiculous and terrible, right? So we can't question that their mindset is that, listen, guys, you have effectively, you're sympathizing for Soleimani, right? You feel more sympathy towards Soleimani, who was a designated and known terrorist. You feel more sympathy for this guy than you do understanding or believing that maybe we had the right intel and we had the right position to take this guy out. Now, we can debate that, right? But for him to lecture us on this whole fact that we can't say you are lining up, your mentality is lining up with terrorists right now. You're sympathizing with terrorists. You do understand that, right? Left, right, Democrats, you do get that, right? You could judge Trump's actions as wrong or right. Right? You could do that without siding, as they have, with terrorists and sympathizing with terrorists. You can come out, as I have done, and said, I don't really agree with that was maybe the best decision or time to do it, but I can still support my president, and not go to the extreme of literally sympathizing and licking the balls of these terrorists and these terrorist organizations and these extreme governments, right? Just because Trump did something. Just because Trump did something, you can never agree with Trump he never has done anything right or good.
They're in love with terrorists. We see that. They mourn Soleimani more than they mourn our Gold Star families, who are the ones who suffered under Soleimani.
The only ones that are mourning the loss of Soleimani are our Democrat leadership and our Democrat presidential candidates.
They also support terrorists, apparently, because so many of them think that killing Soleimani was a terrible idea.
Of those three, only the first, Congressman Doug Collins, has apologized for his comments. Those are not arguments. They're smears. They would get you disqualified from a junior high school debate contest.
So wait a minute, you're going to lecture us on smearing now? Those are smears, man. That's not cool. You can't say that. That's a smear, man. You can't say that to somebody and make these accusations against people, because that's smearing. That's not cool, bro. We're CNN. We're above that. As Americans, we should be above that. You can't smear people, says Jake Tapper.
Let's try to keep this debate at a level worthy of the dignity. She tells all. From the details of her career in porn to, yes, being in bed with the future president of the United States, and even being able to pick certain parts of him out of a lineup.
So he is going to, again, lecture us on keeping it above board, man. Don't point out the fact that all of these news pundits and all of these left-wing Democrats and so on and so forth are praising, essentially, and feeling so bad for poor Soleimani, right? And how dare they point out the fact that this is true, right? Because that's just too low. We're above that. We're better than that, people. We're better than that. Let's be better than that. Let's be like Jake Tapper. Until next time, it's SJG Perspective. Please don't forget to like and share this. And for the love of God, without fear and animus, can you please be just a better person?